Hey everybody, it's Will here at Ketson Car Company. I'm going to show you what I call the optimal settings for my Tesla Model Y. All right, beginning in here, this is your home screen. Swiping up from the bottom is going to give you your AC controls. I love that you can kind of adjust where it's going to go and how it's going to hit you. I usually like it just a little bit far away so I don't get it right in my eyes, which is great. And notice there's nobody in the passenger seat, so the passenger side is not turned on. And so back to the home screen, swiping from the right side in, it's going to give us our navigation screen. You can home, work, wherever you're trying to go, it's going to pop up in there. And then starting from the left corner here, pulls up your controls and all your different settings. So in here is where you can adjust your mirrors. You're going to use your left wheel here, up and down, left and right, to get it the right position. And then once you are set up, you can save it and it'll save it for your profile in the system. The tilted position is great for when you're backing up or going in reverse, because you can see exactly what you're going to be going against. Steering wheel, you can also adjust how the steering wheel is up and down, left and in and out. I'll go back to my settings. The glove box is also in here where you can open that up. Going next to dynamics, I like to keep it in standard. The steering weight, if you use light, you're gonna turn really sharp. And I've seen people get a lot more curb rash when you leave it in the light setting, so I like leaving it standard. If I'm going to be going more speedy or drive a little more aggressive, heavy is a good use as well. The stopping mode, hold is going to be your regenerative braking. Roll is going to set it up so that when you let your foot off the gas pedal or the power pedal, you're going to kind of be coasting. Creep is going to be more like your automotive or your gas vehicle, where you're going to be kind of just slightly creeping forward or idling. You also have the off-road assist and the slip start to help you when you're in those conditions as well. And if I had a tow hook on this cart, it would show up the tow hook settings in here as well. Charging, you always want to keep it at 80%. My wife's going to be taking this car up to Idaho tonight, so we've got it set up to a one-time charge of a 99 or 100%, and so we can do that long trip or start that long trip today. I always like to keep the wireless charging pads turned on and to share the charger information with Tesla. I only turn the keep accessory power on if I'm going to be leaving the car and I need something to charge while I'm gone. I turn it off when I don't want it on because it just is draining of the battery. Self-driving, I have the full self-drive currently set up, so I have that turned on. These are kind of the different settings for that. I always turn on the smart summon, and then the collision warning, I want it as early as I can, as far as that, making sure that I'm not going to hit anything. And the lane departure avoidance, I always turn on assist because it kind of just gently nudges you if you get too close to the line, unless your blinker is turned on. So if I'm going to change lanes, I'll turn on my blinker and then I'll change lanes. Otherwise, if I start to veer one way or the other, it's going to pull me back into play, into being safe. And then I always turn all these on, so the automatic braking, obstacle aware, and the green light chime, which I love because when the light turns green, it makes a little sound, so I know where I'm going. Locks, this is an important screen. So for example, right now I'm using my Apple Watch to get out of the vehicle, and so so the watch right now is my key that I'm using, and if I want to assign myself to my profile, to my key, I just tap this little icon here and you can see that it assigned my profile for me to this key. I can do the same thing for one of the car keys here or something else as well, but you want to make sure that you connect the right phones with the right profile. That way that when that person gets in the car, that profile will be set up. I don't mess much with the lights. You can leave it on auto. That's kind of what I do here. The seating, you can just adjust different things in here. You can move some of the seats as well. The display, one nice thing in this display mode, if you are going to clean, you can put it in the clean mode. You can customize the pet mode with like who you want your pet to be. We've done that for one of our dogs. Also right here, this is one thing that I love, the scroll wheel on the left side. If I push this like a button over here, like this, I've got it currently set up to be open the glove box, but you can change it to any of these different settings in here if you want. You can change language, and if you have a hard time seeing, you can make the text size larger as well. I always like the energy display as a percentage. I'm hoping one day they're going to allow us to do percentage and distance at the same time. It'd be really nice just to be able to have up here, say 99% and the estimated mileage. Hopefully Tesla does that someday. It'd be really nice. Schedule it. I don't mess with this a lot. You can set it to precondition based upon a certain time of the day. If you know you're going to be charging every day at say 12 a.m. to 1 a.m., you can, or 12 a.m. to whatever, you can have that set up. Safety, there's a few things in here. I don't usually do the auto enable and Sentry unless I'm in an area that I think is sketchy, because it does use your battery. I leave the view camera in the mobile app on so that I can see things as it comes up in my app. The dash cam footage, I leave this on auto. That way, if anything happens to the car, it's going to automatically download the last 10 minutes of footage. And then I usually turn on honk as well, so that if I see something really cool while I'm out driving, especially in Utah, we are up in nature a lot. And so if I see animals or something, I can, after the event has happened, I can tap my horn and it'll download the last 10 minutes, since I can see if there's any cool footage of that animal that I wanted to see. I always turn on the blind spot and the rear cross traffic chime. The mobile assist, I always allow that as well. You can do a glove box pin if you want to. I don't find that really helpful. Valet mode will limit the speed limit of the car when that's turned on, and it will also not allow it to drive for a certain range, I believe, as well. You can turn parental controls on if you need to. Speed limit mode, I usually leave it to go no more than 5% above. And then the cabin overheat protection, right now I have it turned on. I usually leave it at 100%, but because I knew I was coming out to do this video, I turned it down a little bit lower. That will also use a little bit of your energy in your car to keep the car from overheating. I always turn the automatic 911 call, and then the security park assist, gear chimes, and low and reverse. And then Joe mode will kind of just, if somebody's sleeping in the car, it's going to keep the car just a little bit quieter than it would normally, just to allow that person to sleep while you're driving. In service, I'm not going to go through this. I'll do that in a separate video. In software screen, I always like to have the vehicle automatically install updates for me, and then also the advanced software updates. I prefer that just because that way I know I'm getting the most up-to-date version of everything that they've got working for these. And then we're going to go into profiles. This is where all the profiles for your car will be in here. And like I said, when you set up these profiles, the profiles attached to your Tesla account, and so that way you can attach it to different keys. So that's kind of how that works. You always want to turn on the Wi-Fi when you're at your home location, so that when those updates do come about, you can make sure the vehicle downloads and does those updates for you. Bluetooth, oh, we lost it. The Bluetooth section, this is where you can set up your Bluetooth for your phone and everything. Usually once you set it up, you have to go in again and set up the sync messages if you want to be able to have text messages pop up while you're driving. As you look right now, there's no messages here. Tesla will only pull in messages as they come. They're not going to read anything older than when you started your current drive. If you want to start a message, you'd need to be in here into the phone app, and then you can start a message like this, read what you want it to say, and then send it. So that's kind of the Bluetooth section. Audio, I like to leave it on auto here. I love the Hey Grok option, so that I can just say, Hey Grok, and Grok will turn on. Enable NSFW, that's enabled not safe for work. So if you're wanting any audio to be clean, you can turn that on, and it'll make sure that all the audio that's playing will not have anything you wouldn't want to hear in a work setting. Share precise location, that allows Tesla to see, or Grok to see where you are and do navigation things as well. The meta settings, I usually turn that on as well. That kind of removes some of the explicit content. It's very similar to this not safe for work, but the not safe for work applies to Grok in that area. And then down here, these are all the different audio apps that are available for the Tesla. And I've turned off some of these because they're ones that I'm not using. And that allows me to, down here, have this a little bit cleaner and smaller settings. And then while we're in here, there's two things that are really important, or that I always make sure to tell you about. One is the toy box. And here, over here into the boom box, you get to set up what your lock sound is. So when you walk away from the car and it locks, right now mine is doing a rubber ducky, but there's a lot of different things you can add in here, and you can add something to that USB drive that's in your glove box to play a custom sound. Another fun thing in here is the photo booth, and you can do fun little things using the camera that's up here. Ooh, it's a little bit dirty. Anyway, you can see a lot of the fun things that you can do. Hey. Anyway, there's a lot of fun stuff in here. You just swipe from the top to kind of minimize that. Sketchpad allows you to just write notes and stuff with your finger. Paint Shop allows you to change the color, wrap, and tint of your vehicle that's in the car right here. So if you want to do something like that. Oops, I don't want that one. Let's go back in here and reset back to just my plain white car. Santa mode is really fun in the Christmas time. You can turn this on and it'll do some jingle bells when the car locks and some other things that are kind of neat. The rainbow mode is for when you're in cruise control or autopilot or full self-drive. In front of you, it'll look like a rainbow that you're driving on. Otherwise, it's just the blue color. If you have young kids or even just for fun, the light show is really fun. It'll make all your windows go up and down and play music and do a lightning storm and kind of stuff. It's really kind of a fun thing to do at least once. So there's some things there. Last and not least is the theater here. The theater, especially these Tesla tutorials, is really, really good, and I recommend to everybody to watch them at least once, because it'll give you a lot of great information on your vehicle and what your vehicle can do, and just give you a really good familiarization with it. And then don't forget to sign up to the other apps or services that you want to, so you can be able to watch stuff when you're charging, or if you're just parked for a long period of time somewhere and you need something to do. That is my quick overview of all things in here. And I hope you enjoy it. Thanks. Let me know if you have any questions or need help.